Hi, I'm Rosa Wild, Community Herbalist at the School of Medicine.com, and I'm here today with Fireweed, which is a really common edible and medicinal plant. We're going to cover a lot of information in this video, so make yourself a cup of tea, because we're going to go through all of the different edible and all the different parts of the plant that you can eat, how to forage it, all the different health conditions it can treat, because this plant has lots of tannins in it, so it's used for excess moisture conditions, so things like excess uterine bleeding, diarrhea, skin conditions, digestive issues. So I'll give you a close-up in a sec. Let me just pause this. So I'm here today in this giant old car park, it must be, with a ton of fireweed. You often do see it in big groups like this. This is the biggest one I can remember. It's bigger than what I can show you. It's also called rosebay willow herb in England anyway. It's got some other names. Let's look at my notes so that I'm not just rambling. You'll often meet fireweed at roadsides, woodland edges and clearings, and any disturbed ground. Fireweed's name comes from the fact that it's one of the first plants to reappear after a fire. The seeds of fireweed have fluffy little white parachutes. Well, let me pause that and show you that. This is a good example. Can you see the fluff? Let's see if we can go up close. Will it focus? Okay, so the seeds of fireweed can drift into areas that have recently burned. When the seeds land on bare soil with plenty of sunlight and little competition, that's when they can quickly germinate. So fireweed's what ecologists call a pioneer species, helping damaged land to recover by improving the soil so that other plants can eventually grow there too. So here in Britain, fireweed is said to have been quite rare until around the 1800s, and that's when the railway network expanded in the Victorian era and more ground was disturbed, so it spread rapidly across the country. After the Second World War, it became famous for taking over bomb sites with its vibrant pink flowers, earning it the nickname bombweed, and it's a great reminder of nature's incredible ability to heal and recover after destruction. Fireweed's scientific name translates as dwarf oleander with narrow leaves. I don't think there's anything dwarf-like about it. Some of them can grow to 9 feet tall. They are pretty tall in general. I often see it in big groups. It's a plant that's pretty easy to ID. The only one that I think is anywhere similar to it is greater willow herb, but that doesn't have these distinctive spikes here. Yeah, I've already mentioned that its common name is rosebay willow herb. These flowers bloom from late June through to September. They open from the bottom of the flowering spike first here, and then they turn into these seed pods. So once the flowers have reached and finished flowering, then that's when you know that the end of summer is coming. Let me find and look at these beautiful flowers. If all of them were open at the same time, they would be a really beautiful garden plant. But instead we class them as a weed. But they're extremely useful to us. And so the flowers are edible. You can sprinkle them into a salad or add them to a dessert, or just eat them as they are straight off the plant. You can also harvest lots of the flowers at once and make bright pink jellies, syrups, and ice cream. They have a delicious floral taste and the most beautiful shades of pink. So like I said, the recipes, links to recipes are on the website. Nom nom nom. So fireweed leaves are edible too. You can eat the young shoots raw or cooked, and they have a mild tannic taste, similar to asparagus. You can eat the older leaves, but they don't taste as great once they've aged a bit. You can split the stems of fireweed. You might have seen people doing that and scrape out the edible pith. That's a bit sweet and it tastes of cucumber. That's an interesting trick to do with kids. The roots of fireweed are edible too. I've not tried them yet, but they're shallow, so you can just pull them up quite easily. People call them a survival food, so You have to scrape out the outer edge of the root bark, and also there's like a brown thread going through them as well that you should pull out, because that can be quite bitter. But then you can just chop them up and add them to soups and stir fries. They're said to be a bit peppery and somewhat sweet if you get them earlier in the season before flowering, or more bitter if you harvest them later in the season. Okay. You can also drink this tea if you have any inflammation in the digestive tract, so for conditions like IBS, Crohn's, or food sensitivities. Rather than drinking just fireweed on its own, it's good to combine it in a formula with other digestion soothing herbs, so like mallow leaves or mallow roots or chamomile or calendula. Another traditional use of fireweed is for diarrhea. Thanks to those astringent tannins, they help tone the lining of the digestive tract and reduce excess fluid loss. And because of these tannins, you would want to avoid fireweed in cases of constipation, because it could make that worse. Fireweed is also really highly regarded for supporting prostate health in Europe. The leaves of fireweed are rich in active plant sterols and natural antioxidants that help block the enzymes responsible for prostate tissue growth. These compounds lower inflammation and ease the uncomfortable urinary symptoms caused by an enlarged prostate. This means it can be used as a preventative for benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH, as well as to reduce the symptoms of that. Since fireweed is a mild diuretic, herbalists use it to soothe nocturia, which is the frequent urge to urinate at night, and to improve weak urine flow. So for that purpose, you need to take it during the day before 6 p.m, because otherwise you'll be getting rid of the excess fluid later in the evening and during the night when you're trying to sleep. Another condition I mentioned is excess uterine bleeding. So if someone has menorrhagia, which is heavy menstrual bleeding, then I would recommend taking fireweed tea 3 times a day, starting a few days before the period is due to start. And we can also use fireweed in cases of metrorrhagia, which is bleeding in between periods. So the fresh leaves of fireweed can also be used externally. You can crush a leaf and apply it directly to cuts, insect bites, bruises, or irritated skin. Its anti-inflammatory and antibacterial properties can help soothe the skin while reducing the risk of infection. So I hope you've enjoyed this video on fireweed medicinal uses, and remember there's a link to the article in the comment section. If you want to, you could let me know what you've learned about fireweed today by writing a comment. That would help with the active recall, so that you don't just forget everything again by tomorrow. And so yes, let me know in the comments if you have any questions, and if you'd like to share this video, if you found it useful, that would be really helpful. and I'll see you next time. Bye.